Good evening, Plaisance. I said good evening, Plaisance. Good evening, Buxton, BV, Ansgrove, the Backless. Good evening. Good evening, John. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Let me hear you make some noise. Come on. You know, this is not a wait. Okay. Good evening everywhere in Guyana and everywhere else that has interest in this lovely country called Guyana. We have in our possession the most beautiful place. It's called a paradise by anyone who visits this place. Guyana is indeed a garden of Eden, a place where everyone, regardless of race, religion, gender, age, whatever it is, should be living in peace and harmony. We have suffered so long, surviving on sugar and rice, while our mineral resources were being squandered by the thieves we now know. And the universe have blessed us. We now have oil. It is up to us to decide whether that oil would be a blessing or a curse. But as it is, we see where we are heading. We are plagued by thieves, rogues and vagabonds, shameless ones, who are contented to divide us in order to maintain their lavish lifestyle, while a few prosper, the multitude suffers. Why should we allow that? When I was asked to speak here I wonder what I would say. And then I said to myself, I would say what everyone knows. Any one of you, even a child, could come up here and say that there is tremendous amount of thieving going on. Plenty, too much. These people ain't got no shame. Imagine when they can be saying, it's how much? $50 million? It's small change? I know that you know that. So any one of you could have come here and said that. Imagine if I stand up here until the morning of election, I can talk about these people and never run out of things to say. Have we forgotten so soon the minor farm they spent so much money on? What has become of that? Have we forgotten so soon that these people spend billions of dollars on a fiber optic cable that we get nothing for? Have we forgotten how much money went into the Elmore factory that should have been state of the art? Have we forgotten all those sea defense that fell overboard and wharves that drowned fish are swimming in them like underwater aquarium? Have we forgotten the murders, the disappearance of our loved ones? Have we forgotten all those drug busts in the hundreds and thousands of tons? Do we not remember them? Are you content to have those people govern you again for another 5 years? Not a day more than September 1st. Not a day more. Can you remember a man called Kwame Wayne that was doing exactly what I'm doing here tonight? A constitutional right to speak to his people and say who they should vote for. What became of him? Do you forget Ronald Waddell? We can't forget that. And there's so much more. Donald McLennan, killed by the very gun of the man in blue. And your children are running, our children are running helter-skelter to represent that man that stole so much from our nation. Monies that could have gone to fix this country, to make sure that the children, they know consequence, would have had a first-class education. That very man that deprived them, they're now running behind to save his backside. Why are we not telling them that it is wrong? Did we not tell them that there was a man by the name of Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham who recognized very early in the game that the game was rigged against us, and so formed the People's National Congress, and from it so many presidents have derived with the very aim of Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham to put the people first, to make sure that he house, clothe, and feed this nation. education. They talk about free education. Free education, we just had rice and sugar and bauxite. Today we got oil and they tell you, oh, it's there that stop it. You see no oil money? You see no development? Tell me. Are you convinced that I have enough to stand here and tell you from now to election day? Say, let me hear you. Are you convinced? Because I honestly do. How could you forget that them very people cannot solve the murder of one of their own ministers? Can they solve the murder of one of you? You were surprised when they could not, when they came out, jump out, as if it was their place to represent and to protect the perpetrators of the. Have you forgotten how they bulldoze island, mango trees and fruit trees in Buxton? So they're searching for criminal, and the criminal was living right there where they live. Can you forget what happened at Makkah when they used to bulldoze people's place and bury their animals? Oh my goodness. How on earth, when in this world, anyone in their right mind can give these people another chance? We live in poverty. Are you satisfied with the state of your drains and your road? Them walkway they're building with concrete and call it road that loosen up already. Look at the drains that are clogged. They're closing up all the drains, making some little thing like gutter. We're running off your roof and tell you when flood come, you ain't gonna drown. They cannot even. They can't even solve the simple problem as police brutality. Every young man that is riding a motorcycle can tell you volumes, and no one can do anything about it. Is that what you want? Burnham, Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, the Honorable Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham. Let me put it correctly. I am not qualified to call him by first name. He said to us, the Indians are important. To us, the Amerindians are important. To us, the Portuguese are important. To us, the Chinese are important. To us, the Africans are important. And I would go another mile to say, to us, the mixed race are important. Every single Guyanese that walk this country and live, born, and earn the right to be called the Guyanese are important. When we are so rich, filthy, stinking rich, and yet mothers cannot find the sustenance to put in their children's lunch kit for them to go to school, transportation. Tell me, is that what we've become? They would like us to believe so, but we're not fools. They came to power by winning an election. But we know all the tricks this time. And we're going to block them off. Not this time. Not this time. No more. Not this time. Enough. Look around you. The only time somebody gets a hustle or a job is if you wear their color. Which one of you have not worn their color benefited? Is that a democracy? Is that equality? Is that justice? Contracts they give them, clean the drain, build a pavement and call it road. Break up a perfectly good road. No shoulders. You can't pull off to the side. People are fighting, quarreling, all manner of things. They are telling you about specialty hospital, fancy hospital. Where are they building it? Are they building any of these infrastructures close to where you live? How do you open your eyes and see where they're putting all the stadium and all these niceties, all the fancy places they're building? We're not blind, but we must tell our children, we must let them know that what they think is not right. We must have that conversation with them. We have to, from today, we must walk the streets and let them know that you can't shoot yourself in your right foot and then intend to run with your left foot alone. You need both feet. And when you bust your vote, that is exactly what you're doing. You're giving votes to them. You think that Irfan and the man, the blue man, you think the blue man is the only thief they got? Is all of them that bringing in something, producing something, selling something, manufacturing something, building something? It's all a them. You got join the game. If something costs $50 million, they tell you 150. Where the rest gone? Where is it? These people have not involved our leader in any decision making or governing. They said he didn't recognize the government. So because he didn't recognize the government, he cannot represent the half of the nation or more than half that supports him. Tell me, any one of you, when in the history of this country did the PPP say that any PNC, APNU, AFC, any government under such name won a fair election? They always accuse us of fraud and of rigging and of thieving. And them is the biggest ones. And yet, they've excluded all of us by excluding our leader. They've excluded all of us. It's a disrespect. A disrespect to all of us whose foreparents came and slaved for this country and indentured for this country and discovered this country. We're not going to take that anymore. It cannot happen. It will not happen. And we're not going to let them. I like to leave that part. And before I close, I must tell you, all of you, all our first-time voters, make sure that you educate them how to vote. Make sure you tell them what to vote for. Make sure you encourage them to get up and get out and come back with that stain on your finger. It means that you have placed a building block in the wall against corruption, injustice, theft, and all that is bad in this country. My comments, I will signal that my time is up. So, I would like to hear you. Come on, Plaisance. Raise your voice. Blow your horn. Shake the flag. Jump up and down. This is ours. We have to. We must. And we will. We are not settling for anything less. I tell you, this is ours. I thank you.
APNU, you couldn't have had it better. And you know, we will stick at better, because if we were to say best, we might be downgrading others who have got to come, because all of them are better than each other. We've got more information for you. We're going to keep you really glued to what we've got to present here this evening. Conrad Douglas has come from our very own village of Plaisance, and he knows exactly what has happened, particularly at the last local government elections. He knew what happened at the last general elections, and this is what he's trying to safeguard us from what is coming in the next elections. And when he said that all of us are important, when he speaks of the various ethnic groups, I would like to add that even the scripts are important. It is so because they have been made to behave in such a way because of what they've been deprived of deliberately. And we have to change that process, okay? More doctors to come, and one of them is gonna come now to deliver his speech to you. And this gentleman, like tonight I said, we're dealing with real doctors, all right? And so it's another real doctor. Just remember, green is it. Here we go. Y'all gone to sleep. Green is it. Sense is it. And we all working to the return of democracy in Guyana. Agreed? All right. Up comes a man whom has been there and done that, and you will not doubt it because of the amount of years he stood as a minister, even though not of a government of the APNU or the PNC, but a government anyway. And it matters not sometimes what party is in, the governance is important. And if it is not well done, then you talk about it. If it's well done, then of course you give all the credit you can. And so this man is going to let you know of things maybe he was able to observe, and he's going to put you on the right track, because we have to get on the right track. You realize the rigging started already. You realize it started already. So we have to be placed on the right track. And coming to speak with you, we'd like you to put your hands together and welcome a former Minister of Government, Dr. Henry Jeffrey. Come on, let's hear your horns.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I actually accepted this invitation to come and speak to you because I recognize a lurking danger. The PPP is out there telling everyone that they have broken the back of ethnic voting. There is no longer any ethnic voting. But then break the back of the ethnic voting in the Indian areas. They're trying to fool you. They want you, it's your back they want to break again. They have done it many times. And it's your back they want to vote again, up to break again. You see the one called Mohammed, he now get many votes from the Indian area. He gonna go to the black people areas in the margin. You like the scripts, is the scripts gonna vote for him? Believe you me. And he is going to go in the Amerindian areas, the marginal ones. Is the PVP set him up? Between October and January, this PPP gave Mohammed $30 million. Come from the Bank of Guyana. It's the PPP that set him up. How, by the way, I mean, how can you possibly tell me don't vote for orphan is a crook, but I gonna vote for Mohammed? What's going on here? What's going on here? How can you possibly be crying for Adriana Young because you claim that the police, well, we know the police bunch it up and there's all sorts of corruption there. But Mohammed is involved in drug dealing. How many Adriana Young he killed? I can't believe it. How can you possibly say anything you do must have a moral bottom line? You must have a moral bottom line. There is no morality in voting for no Mohammed. If Mohammed must go and clear his name, he must go and clear his name. I have nothing against Mohammed as such, but he's here to split the black people vote. That is why he's here. And I am here specifically to say to you, don't make it happen. Don't make it happen. Regardless if what I say here is right about Mohammed, one thing is certain. He ain't getting much Indian votes. You remember what happened during the teachers' strike? You remember when a few Indians from the PPP area went on strike and they said to Jagdio, but some of your people are out. And what Jagdio said to them? He said, yeah, but they know where they're bread, but they know they're coming back to us. And there's no question about it. You don't follow them about this thing, about you can't vote for your own ethnicity. 95% of black Americans vote for Obama when he went up. Why did they say they're racist? They're trying to con you with this nonsense. Whilst they're telling their supporters just why telling you is they're hearing from don't split the vote. What happened at the market, the man report? They get 4,000 policemen and they make 4 men come and raffle the whole market. You gotta be a joke. They knew that a whole lot of, well, not a whole lot, it was 100 of them maybe, coming down. They know if they pass through an area like that, people are going to behave and try to behave bad. And they got 4,000 police, maybe more. And they allowed that to happen. And they run the next day and telling them, oh, it's black man, you know them, and you take some money. That is what they have done. The PPP is solidifying their own Indian base while they are telling your base, oh, but voting race is bad. There's nothing bad about it. Racism is bad. And it's two different things. I can vote for Obama without being a racist. I can feel that he's African and Africans are hard done by. I ain't gonna vote. That don't mean if I see an Indian or a European, I gonna try to take away their rights, vote again, do anything to get to take away a right. That don't even mean I would like them as friends. But you have it, get it quite clear. Don't make these people fool you about racism, God. The Donald Robert try it. Even tried to say that Indians they vote for PPP. A majority of Africans vote for PPP in 1957. Lies. I wrote it and show it just foolishness. But they're doing all of that, they're bribing. Well, when I was growing up, my mother was politically aware. And she would take us, listen to meetings and tell us. And she would say, in those days, they come in and give you sewing machines, small ones and things. My mother said, I taking it. But if they think I voted for them, they got another thing coming. So let it try right there. But there's now only my mother. There is a man called Peter Sims, wrote a book called Trouble in Guyana. He wrote it in 1966. The colonials wanted badly to get rid of Jagan. So they go all over the place. They go in the Mica Creek and they give the people land, bulldozer and all sorts of things. And so Peter Sims went to these people and he says, I don't understand. Give you all these things. Why did you still vote for Jagan? The answer he got, the people said to him, if Jagan wasn't there, we wouldn't get it. I will tell you, if Norton and the PNC wasn't there, you wouldn't get squat. Nothing. Believe you me. On the Burnham, what's his name had to admit the other day, on the Burnham, whole lot of Indians get rich. How many black people get rich under the PPP? Tell me. Instead you get poor, they turn you into squarebeds so that you can go and vote for them. That's precisely what they've done. They impoverish you. So here, Jack, you said yesterday. I don't call him, I call anybody. Right. He said yesterday. He said he was telling the small contractors and so on. He said, but the part-time workers. He said, please remember Who give you part-time work? This man had run this government for 20 years. He ran this government for 20 years. He's supposed to find employment for me. He's supposed to... And he telling me I got vote because he can't do no, but he give me part-time work. This gotta be nonsense. Them out for is that 20 years, 25 years, because of Jago running the country. Do it orphan thing. How the Constitution is organized is Jago run the country. Because Jago appoint orphan, he's the leader of the party, he's the leader of the list, he's the leader of all the parliamentarians. So orphan got to carry the line. And when you add the stupidness that democratic centralism in it, is he. The Constitution needs to be terribly changed because of that. It needs to be changed badly. So, comrades, as I said, I come in for one single reason. One, to tell you don't split the votes. Do not do it. Because over the years, you know, I wrote a book on this. I published this in 2014. I wrote a book on it. Since then, I said these people are impoverishing Afro-Guyanese. They stop all your collective bargaining. So when they come and do you, they give you 5%. But even then they rob you. Because they give 5% starting in January, but they give the same 5% in December. If the 5% could have buy 5 Balanges in January, can only buy 2 in December. No, but this is, you think this is a joke. And these people been doing that for long. Norton and his crew, when they get in there, must compensate those public servants. They must take back the money and give them the money. They must compensate them. You cannot allow them to get away with that kind of a thing. Organize a committee, include them in it if they want, but effectively go back. It is a fact. You understand here what they do. The nurses are leaving. They pay the nurses $800 or something dollars. They gone to India and pay them, offering them 2,000 US to go. And about 2,000 US because they're giving them 1,500 twice what they paying the nurses here, and they're paying for their lodging, their boarding, their transportation. 2,000 US is what they are giving to these people. That's what they're offering. And so when your nurse is gone away, you can't be surprised. In 2024, the Americans, they come back to World Bank. The World Bank said, end of year inflation will be 9.4%. Orphan come out. I am going to give you all 8%. Even before you start. That's what the World Bank said. You can check it yourself. 9.4%. That is the prediction. He comes out, I'll give you 8%. Well, it was that year. It was that very year when they did that. The Americans call them and says, look, you are messing up our labor market because all of your nurses are coming here. And therefore, you got to pay the nurses better. They come back with another increase. The Americans said that would not do. They come back with an increase of 14 and 44% increase. That is the BB. And they've been doing this That's why they don't want collective bargaining. Look what happened. No employer, but no employer should have the right to singly determine what they're paying people. Because if they have that right, they can pay you the smallest amount possible. And that go for any place. That's why you need trade unions and all these things to back you up. Because employers would always do that. But the PVP doing it with a purpose. You see what happened? And that is why Carter left this country in 2004, went away. Carter said, listen, you have an ethnically divided country here. This has been going on for long. So if you're going to run this country democratically, you will have to another form of governance. You got to get like Suriname. In Suriname, the president, to become the president, you can't get 1% vote or 1 seat more. You got to get 66%. You got to get 2/3 vote in parliament to become the president. Here, you can get 0.1%. and you become not even you, as a matter of fact, I am putting this wrong, because the presidency is based on a plurality. So you know, if no other party get more votes than you, suppose they got another party in this race, and you know, if you get 20% and no other party get 20%, you can become the president. Oh yeah. There is the system. There's a system you have. So effectively, but what I'm saying, to get the majority in parliament. Remember in 2011, the PVP won the presidency, but it did not win the parliament. So they tried to parole parliament. I had to go back to election and all of that. But just to win both. So if you get 1%, not even one, anything below, be above 50, it can be 50 points. If you just get that, you can control the parliament and the presidency. And if you are the leader of the party, don't lose presidency. So no, this time. So, comrades, I have done the little I could do. I am here to tell you what's happening to black people in this country is deliberate. It's a deliberate. They went about trying to make you poor, scrape heads, and then they're saying, no, we can give them any old work and ask them to vote. That must come to an end. And you must bring it to an end. It has to end. Come back. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Henry Jeffrey, a man who has been there and done that. And I'm sure that you would have learned something that you can put.
The leader and the prime minister is here.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that you expect, I did mention earlier too, that our main speaker will be our presidential candidate. I did not tell you, actually I wanted it to be a surprise, but then sometimes there's some people out there who can't take a surprise, they can drop down and we wouldn't satisfy the purpose, all right? So I just would like to let you know that we also will have on our program tonight the distinguished presence of our prime ministerial candidate, and they are both here at the moment. Give a big round of applause, shout it out. To the wonderful village of Plaisance on the capital of East Coast, the Marara. We've got both the presidential candidate and the prime ministerial candidate, and they both will be speaking with you a little later in the program. Could we do better than that? Okay, so we've had a preponderance of male speakers. Ladies, don't you think it's time we have a female now? Y'all ain't sure though. All right, I think it's time that we bring to you a female speaker. And if we are going to have the start of, well, we have a whole lot of female speakers anyway, but just to start that little procession of female speakers, we have to start bright and bold. Don't you agree with me? Wonderful. Okay. So our next speaker to come on stage is a lady who don't play. A lady who has been part of an organization that reminds me of back in the days of Forbes Burnham and Chetty Jagan. We know that Forbes Burnham came out of the PPP. He and Chetty formed the PPP and all of that. But Forbes always knew that it makes no sense for upward mobility if you were to sit below someone that you know that you're much more intelligent than, and you can do better things for your party. And so what happened? The great Forbes moved on to form the PNC. The lady that I'm going to... Mic check. I am beginning to believe that this mic doesn't like me. Nobody else is getting this problem. So the lady that I'm going to be introducing to you is a lady who has been part of a very important organization of this country that is responsible for me and you being here, and we can consider ourselves well learned, and that is the Guyana Teachers Union. She has been the General Secretary for a number of years, and as she herself believes that she can make a better contribution to that fraternity and to our education by wresting the top position from someone who did not do his best. And you know who I'm talking about. She is going to be making her presentation tonight, so keep it going for the one and only Coretta McDonald. Stand up, stand up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Give up the right. Reach out and tell me. Hello is all of you. It's an all that people before. I've never been told. So now you see the light. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Plaisance! 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 It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I want to see the teachers in the house. Teachers, we out there. We outside like wet clothes and we representing. Let me see your palms. Let me see your palms. Put your palms in the air. Let me see your palms. Let's show them down on the other side how we palming them out. You see, they don't like when we get together because they know when we come together, it's more power. And we coming out here because we can sweep them clean. I want to say to you, friends, this elections is the elections of all elections. And if you don't believe me, you look at what has happened over the last 5 years.
And if you still don't believe me, let me recap for you. 6.5, 7%, 8%, 10%. And if you want to vote for them, then you'll have a full recycle 6.5, 7%, 8%, 10%, and 9%. Let me tell you, folks, a snake will always be a snake. Whether he changed from green to brown, a snake will always be a snake. And you see the green, it is just camouflage because he and the real green, we are the real green. Have you ever seen a red tree? Have you ever seen a red tree? Have you ever seen a red tree? Because they ain't got none. The only tree is the palm tree. And that's the tree that we voted for. That's the palm that we voted for. Look, friends, now is not time to make joke. This is serious business. This is serious business. When you look around your community, you tell me if there's anything for you to smile about. Tell me if there's anything for you to smile about. Our girl children, they are not safe. They're murdering and raping and they're buggering them. You tell me if they're safe. You tell me if there's anything about. When you look around your communities, all you could see is a dig up road here and a dig up road there and a little gutter there. You tell me if there's anything for you to smile about. Let me tell you what. You see them $100,000 grants that they're coming around you with? Don't take fooling. Those monies belong to me and you. So when they bring it, you take it. And when you're taking it, remind them, I go in green. And you know what? The PPP will always be the PPP. And they will always look out for the 3 F's. Family, friends, and favorites. The PPP don't value you. The only time they value you is time like this, when they want your votes. But you got to tell them you're big and you have sense. If you want to see the real PPP, you look at Mohammed, you will see the real PPP. And I want to say to you out here tonight, when you see Mohammed come around, you ask him, is which gun killed Donna McKinnon? Don't forget, his father said the PPP had 4 guns. 2 belonged to them, 1 was Glenn Lal and 1 was Dr. Hanuman. You ask him is which gun. When he comes around, you ask him, what happened to the 400 plus young men who were killed in the streets? I want to remind you, friends, just in case you forget, there was a time when the national anthem of Guyana was changed to how many more? Because every day you wake up was a body here or a body there. An execution style here and an execution style there. You have to remember these things. Don't let them come to you with enlarging the road or expanding the road, because one PPP minister said to us when he was in opposition, you can't eat roads. So we must remind them now that we can't eat roads. Let me tell you, friends, this elections is about you and me and our children. And if you are not concerned about you, you must be concerned about your children and your children's children and your children's children. You must be concerned about. But what are we seeing happening here now? The PPP fattening themselves, fattening their children, leaving all kinds of legacy for their children. What have they left for you? Much more your children. So these people ain't easy. They're not easy, and we have to remind them, and we have to remind you, and we have to remind our young boys and our young girls. Could you imagine The PPP has the audacity to call your child and my child scrapeheads and dunce dogs and fully duns and all kind of dogs. Well, we have to remind our children that when they were born, we gave them special names. So out with the scrapeheads and out with the dunce dog because we voted the PPP out. Comrades and friends, we ain't playing with no easy set of people. And since we're not playing with easy set of people, we gotta come harder than them. And the only way we will come harder than them is when I hold your hand and you hold my hand and we hold neighbor Betty's hand and we hold neighbor Susan's hand and we hold all the hands and we move into the polling station come September 1st. I want to say to you, education is the vehicle that will take us out of poverty. But what did the PPP do in 1994? They put a payment on university so that your child and my child can go to university. But we got to remind them that it was Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham. Lyndon Forbes Sampson. We got.
Check my
So hold it down till it comes to 8. Hold on this till this the come to 8. The same one. Right, decline. Some moving from this. Hold on, you gotta put
Hello? Demons rolling around, but they ain't gonna stop us tonight. They ain't gonna stop us tonight because we moving on a train, and that train ain't carrying no corruption. That train is a holy train, and we gonna be moving through because we got a man. We got a man. I know that man, and you know that man. That man is lean. And that man is clean. And that's the man, Aubrey Compton Norton, our next executive president. And you see the madness that they're doing, they can't stop him. And because we are caring people, and because we understand that Guyana needs one people, one nation, one destiny, we are going to be moving with Aubrey Norton and Director Finance, our first indigenous female prime minister. I want to say to you, the pick that we're having is not a knockabout pick. This is not rubber stamp people we got here. They say like Mark Phillips, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. These are real people that we got here. And so Aubrey Norton is real. And Juretta Finance is real. And Ganesh Maipol and all the others. They are people who have been standing with you. I want to remind you, friends, that when it comes to respecting each other, you check the APNU. We respect the child. We respect the young boy and the young girl. We respect the man and we respect the woman. Not like the PPP. If they had any respect for you, they wouldn't have Nigel Darramlan on their list. So it says to us that they have no respect for us. More than that, they have no respect for our indigenous people, and that is why, come September 1st, we're marching them out the place. I want to remind you that when we talk about respect, look what they did to our teachers. 75 days our teachers were standing on the streets. 75 days. And you know what they feel? They feel that they can give us crumbs. I want to remind you that crumbs, even if you set your hand all the time, it will not equal a slice of bread. So we are taking crumbs, we want the whole loaf. And that is why we have made a conscious decision that we vote in APNU. I want to remind you that they got plenty snakes amongst you, and you got to point them out, and you got to call them out, because these are the snakes who will wiggle their ways through us and will create the confusion, but we can palm them out. We can palm them out, because gone are the days of Charandas. We need no more of that. I want to say to you, friends, this business is serious business. This is not cake shop business we're running. And because this is serious business, it means that every grandmother out there must vote for APNU. Every grandfather out there must vote for APNU, because under the PPP you got $41,000. Come with the stroke of a pen, it's $100,000 for you. And that is what you call love. That is what you call respect, because our elderly folks would have paved the way for us, and so we are giving back to them. And when you talk about our young people, some of them say, oh, there's no scope for young people. You look around this entire campaign, you look around here tonight and tell me what you see. Lots and lots of young people. You know why they're gravitating here? Because they understand that we respect them, one. Secondly, they understand that we have put provisions in place way back then. We ensure that education was free from nursery to university. We ensure that back then, I don't know how many of you are too young to remember that, but way back then we had exercise books. You remember the exercise books with Barnum's picture in the middle? So when they come now with their stupidness and tell you that we're giving free exercise books, remind them that we did that already, and what they are doing now is copying from us. But we know that come September 2nd, we're going to be doing it bigger and better. You see, when they can't beat you, they do all sorts of things to displace you. So when they want to displace you, they burn a school there. They burn a school there. They burn a school there. And last night they burned the secondary school in Pokwani, which means that our children are going to be displaced again. And let me tell you, that there is because of incompetence. But we got competent people. And we are not only going to put structures up, but we will ensure that our schools, the classrooms are conducive to learning. We will ensure that every classroom, the children sitting there or the learners sitting there, the class sizes are going to be manageable so that our teachers can deliver effectively. I want to say to you, friends, that we will not run the race that the PPP running. Where Priya jump out and train 3,000 And when you check the list, half of them will even pass through the full course. Half of them will complete the program, but they graduate. We will train our teachers, ensure that they complete the program, so when they stand in front of the class, they are well equipped to deliver to our children. You see, for us, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And that is what we will give you. We will ensure that our teachers are given 35% salary increases come September 2nd. And that is not yet the talks with their union, because we will reintegrate and revigorate, and we will return collective bargaining to the table for every single union. You know, the PPP know about marginalizing unions. So GAU and the other unions, they have them there at the top. But the GTU and so on, they throw you off on the side. We will show them what real governance is, because every single union will be treated equally according to us. I want to say to you folks, these elections will determine the way Guyana move after September. Sport and green. That if you think, and if you're having a rethink, and if you've not yet thought, you better start thinking now and make that decision tonight. Because tonight is the night. And tonight is the night when the small man will become a real man under the APNU. Tonight is the night when you make that decision. It's when the small woman will become a real woman. Because that is what we do. We empower our people. We ensure that our people can eat from the table. We don't hold diamond balls where you can't come. We will have public meetings like these where we can come and talk to you, and that is what we will do. I want to say to you, friends, they got some ministers, some wearing $147,000 shades, and some of you, your salaries ain't reach nowhere near. But let me tell you what Aubrey Compton North and his team will do. Come September 2nd, minimum wage will go to $200,000. And if you think that is not enough, we are going to implement the rent-to-own scheme. Let me remind you, it was LFS Burnham who built a whole lot of housing schemes through self-help. We will return to those days. You see, we understand what it feels like to feed, clothe, and house a nation. And we will go right back to those days, and we will make it better for you. We're not going to send you to the banks, or we will not give you a plot of land or tell you you have a plot of land and you never see the land yet. Or we will not give you a jungle and call it a house lot. We will ensure that any piece of land we give to you, first of all, is going to be free, and then it will have water, it will have lights, and it will have proper roads. And that is what we will do for you come September 2nd. And this is not an this is a commitment we are making to you, and we fulfill and we keep our commitments. I want to say to you, friends, they jump around the place and they talk about the building state of, I don't know the state of the heart or the art or what kind of hospitals, but some hospitals they're building all over the place. And when you look at what is happening, they're moving the machines from this one to that one to the other one, and they take out big pictures and they show you, oh, our hospitals are fully equipped. But you go the next day, you will see an empty place as if they got a dance there. We want to say to you that the PPP are scouts. They are sanctimonious youngsters. And come this elections, we want to put them on notice now that it ain't gonna be like 2020. It ain't gonna be like 2020. I want to tell you, friends, that mothers, you have a critical role to play. Because you have to talk to your boys, and you have to talk to your girls, and you have to talk to your baby father, and you got to talk to your husbands, and you got to remind them that as mothers, we rock the cradles. As mothers, we spread the bed sheets. As mothers, we prepare your meals. So as mothers, we are telling you that you're voting green. Mothers, I want to say to you, this green that you're going to be voting will ensure that when you go to bed at night, you will sleep comfortable even when your sons are out. When you vote green, mothers, I want to say to you that your daughters are going to be safe. I want to say to you, mothers, when you vote green come September, you are going to be voting for a Guyana that will be on the move, and a Guyana that will be free from victimization, free from drugs, free from execution-style killings, and free from starvation. I want to say to you, fathers, and I'm happy that I'm seeing so many fathers out here. Your job is equally important, because the Bible says that the man is the head of the home. And as the heads of the homes, we expect you to do what is right. And therefore, we expect you to see green when you're eating, to see green when you're walking, to see green when you're sleeping, to see green when you're talking to your children, to see green every time you move. That's what we want to do. And so as long as you fathers are seeing green, then everybody else will see green. I want to tell you, young men and young women, $30,000 ain't make it. $30,000 is not even small change, it's no change at all. I want to say to you, young men and young women, that they can come around and give you a little contract, but tell them you better than cleaning gutters. Tell them you want contracts to build schools. Tell them that you want contracts to build housing schemes. And let me tell you what the APNU will do. We will train you. We will ensure that you have the skill so that when you're a contractor performing out there, you are giving quality and not quantity. I want to remind you, you see them knockabout roads in Pigat? One going up, so one come down, so one blood and one something. So imagine this government is so shameless that a man from the United States, a big man out there, had to come to tell us that we got a concussion road. That is disrespect, and that is shameful. I want to tell y'all that it was under Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum that we got the highway here, straight up to Burby, straight to Carrington. And you see the amount of years it stood there. I want to remind you that we will build proper roads and give to you. I want to tell you, friends, the Bible says that a serpent will deceive you. And I want to tell you that the Bible says that we must hit the serpent on the head. And so tonight, we lashing Efron Hanley on his head. We lashing Baron Jackie on the head. We lashing Mark Phillips on the head because they're all serpents. We tired of the deception. We ain't never with it no more. We tired of the starvation. We ain't never with it anymore. We tired of them provoking we every time. We ain't never with it anymore. So we gonna use the green. We gonna use the green. We gonna use the green, and we gonna sweep them clean. And we ain't only sweeping them clean, we sweeping them off the scene. I want to say to you, friends, I want to say to you, friends, my grandmother is going to be joining me to vote for the PAM. And therefore, every granny out there, not the gangster granny, mind you, but every granny out there is going to be joining us because we voted for the PAM. Every grandfather out there is going to be voting for the PAM. Every young man out there is going to be voting for the PAM. And all of us, we voted for the PAM. But let me tell you, on September 1st, we waking up early in the mornings, yeah? Forget, hold back the night before. Hold Sunday night, put it on pause. Because I want you to wake up early. When you wake up early, do everything that you got to do. So by 6 o'clock, you are right there waiting to vote. When you finish voting, ensure that it's not only you, but you and your entire household. And then your neighbor and your neighbor's entire household. And then the next neighbor and the next neighbor. And we will walk the streets in Plaisance to ensure that everybody come out and vote. And we making sure that we show them the color when they're coming down the street. Because we voting A, B, N, U. What's more than that, I want to say to you folks. We love you. And our love for you is genuine. We don't know how to do it fake. You see how Priya just walk around and she barely got a smile when she holding up some of our children? We ain't doing it fake, we coming real. And because our love for you is real, we will ensure that the murder of Adriana Young will be investigated and the culprits will pay the price. Let me leave with you folks, because I got a couple of powerhouses coming behind me. Let me say to you, green is it. Let me hear you say that. Green is it. Green is it. Green is it. A, B, N, U is it. Let me hear you. A, B, N, U. That is it. But let me tell you. You see, we here, after 23 plus 5 years of suffering, we are like to the children of Israel. The pharaohs got us in poverty. The pharaohs treating us bad. The pharaohs got us in and things tight with us. But I want to say to you, come September 1st, come September 1st, is the day that we will say to them, Pharaoh, let my people go. On September 1st, we are going to say to them, Pharaoh, let my people go. And so we're voting A, B, N, U. We're voting the PAM. My friends, teachers will not have to suffer anymore. Nurses will not have to suffer anymore. The policemen and women will not have to suffer anymore. The public servants across Guyana will not have to suffer anymore. The housewives will not have to suffer anymore. Our children will not have to suffer anymore because we voted like Dr. Hines. We voted like Dr. Hines come September 1st. Dr. Hines, come let me show them what we do it. On September 1st, I hold in his hand. On September 1st, collect the man next to you then. Collect the man next to you then. And we pulling this man along. Come little girl, come. And we voted with them. So you see how we move it? We move it together from September 1st. One love, my brothers. One love, my sisters. Because we voting together. And we voting A, B, N, U. Love you all.
We gonna chase those straights and ballers all the time.
I tell y'all, it's gonna get hotter. Wasn't that hot enough All right, even if it rains now, we gonna move because we got the required heat. And we still have more to come. And I like that little bit of interaction just now with Coretta holding up Dr. Hines and bringing him to the front. Dr. Hines and I went to the same school with multilateral schoolmates, and we've been holding up Dr. Hines since back then anyway. So this is not this is not new. Anyway, I'd like to take this opportunity to make some acknowledgements. As I just mentioned, Dr. Hines is here, and that's one of the men who is significant in the part of the APNU. Come on, put your hands together for Dr. Hines. Thank you for being here. Welcome down. Our vice presidential candidate is here. I saw him earlier. This is a man that you can't mess around because he knows it. He knows the book from the beginning to the end. You understand? So let's welcome here with us Ganesh Mahipal. He's somewhere around. Come on, give it up for Ganesh. That's right. That's right. We're going to be taking it higher. I also would like to say a very good evening to HGB Nightly News. That's Antonio Day, the youngster is here doing his reporting. I saw him just somewhere around. Oh, he's sitting there. Thank you very much for your presence, Antonio Day. We'd also like to say thanks for the coverage to credible sources. And we would like to say good evening and thank you to Sherrod Duncan. And we also would like to, we understand that our brother out in the United States of America, Wayne Caesar, who does Over to You on 107.1, that's Ben Shop's platform, is with us, and he's asked me to pass a message to Plaisancian. Having lived in Plaisance for a while, his heart is with Plaisance, and he's extremely happy about the turnout this evening. So thank you for being with us, Wayne. Thank you, credible sources, and all those who I have not yet identified and mean a lot to us. I thank you for being here. And so again, I say thanks to Coretta MacDonald. She did make mention of the fact that there are these huge hospitals are being built with nothing inside, like they've been begotten. And she said that she doesn't know whether it's state of the art or state of the heart. It's more like, to me, state of the fart, because nothing really is happening. She talked about the roads as well, and that's a real fact, that the roads that have been built way back in the days of the PNC are extremely strong roads, very strong. This particular East Coast Rupert Craig Highway out there, I remember as a youngster in my athletic days running on the loam when they were building that road, and that road was opened in 1977, and that road is still there from 1977 to now, with maybe just a little black top over every now and again. And that now and again is really, really, again, more than now. All right? They talk about we can't eat roads in the coalition administration. When they talked about roads are being built and we can't eat roads, and have a problem with us saying the same thing this time around under their administration. But the thing about it is, if you really could have eaten roads, the roads are even waiting for you them. They're broken up in no time. Weeks after construction, you're driving in potholes. And that tells you of the lack of structure. The structure that should have been attached to those roads. It's all about money and corruption, and that's what we've got to beat. We got to beat that. They got to go. Exactly. Have to go. Okay, so we move on, and we continue with our trend of doctors. We're so thankful for these doctors for being here with us, because they know that they are in fact going to lend their support to a party that can make the required difference to this republic. And so they're here, and we're thankful for their presence. And tonight, we're going to be introducing to you another big one, in the sense that this man sat almost at the helm of the Guyana police force. But this government doesn't like anyone who does his or her work correctly or do right. They get rid of you when you do it the right way. And that is what they sought to do with this gentleman who went all the way up to the deputy commissioner position and was all set to become our commissioner, but they didn't want him because he would have been a good commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, to speak with us out of the APNU, to lend us his expertise, let's welcome on stage Dr. Paul Williams.
Plaisance, good night. Plaisance, good night. Wow. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure speaking to you in this capacity. From a police to a politician. Plaisance, let me tell you, you're a great place. In 1884, you were the first in Guyana to produce a newspaper called the Echo by Nigel Westmus. Where get history from? David Himes' book on UC Guyana. So you have to read, you have to know history. Plaisance, you've produced a lot of great people. The Adams, and my brother Adams, who was in charge of the Harbor Bridge, who they treated the same way how they treated me. You have the Clarks. You have the Bunburys. Sidney Bunbury, retired deputy commissioner, was once my boss. And then you have the same man that was on stage, Basil Brashaw. A lot of you may not know the history of him, but he was one of our national sprinter and the greatest among all. Then also, he was one of the best radio announcer, talk show hosts. Plaisance, there are many more that some of you know and some of you forget. Because why? The PPP trying. The PPP is trying to ensure that they can dazzle or wipe out the history with the little contracts and the little scarum arrangement in terms of wanting you to forget your history. But listen to me. There is no nation can build and stand strong without not recognizing its history. And if you want to allow the PPP to rewrite your history, but therefore you will not know your destiny. Plaisance, Guyana. Most of my speakers who came up here before mentioned the word scrapes. And that's a name they've given our youths. And it bothers me. And I study it a lot. But listen to me. I have been inspired by the God that I serve to make the scrape into something good. And also, with the leadership of the APNU, who they have now found, they have recognized that the word scrape, S, gives them strength. C gives them courage. R gives them resilience. A gives them assurance. P directs them to prosperity. And E gives them empowerment. So we take the word scraps and we're going to make the best out of it. Our young people, they call you script, but I want you to sing this song. Tell them, I have decided to follow our breed. I've decided to follow Norton. I've decided to follow APNU. No turning back, no turning back. Yes! Wake up, Guyana. Wake up, our young people. There's so many voices. I've listened to Dr. Jeffrey, and he has put over his presentation his own. What you think with the laughter he was exhibiting is about seriousness, because he knows it. He has studied it, and he continued to look and observe and watch and listen to his analysis. It's very, very, very keen for you to understand. Listen to me. For all the atrocities that happened since this government came back into power 2020 to now, they have felt by now there would have been a racial segregation, and also there would have been a bacchanal, a racial bacchanal occurring, because that would have done just for them. When they created the situation on the march of Quinton Bacchus, that could have stopped Caesar and more. I'm telling you, there's no way they could have reached all the way to Monrepo Market. When they meet at Vigilance Police Station, there were soldiers. There were soldiers standing there blocking the road. And by the time the crowd approached, what they did, they opened up and allowed them to pass, because they were planning what to do. And they allowed them to come to Monrepo Market in order to have the persons inserted and create that type of situation to justify, to show the world that is all our people capable of. That is all. They have done the same thing as it relates to Adriana's Young situation after the autopsy at the hospital. And who face they're showing the world? Our people. And our young people need to understand that. Who they are using to make up the prison population? Our young people. And as a result of that, we cannot be at home, we cannot be in the community, and we cannot be there to guide and help our children. And that automatically put pressure on our women to be out there. And what job they have for them out there? Security guard job. And they're leaving the young ones unattended, and they're going astray. That is how we're getting a lot of teenage pregnancy. That is how we're getting a lot of our children are being led to delinquency and criminality, who are smoking drugs, who are into stealing and all those things. And come on, we are seeing these things. The statistics is there, social media is there, and still we're ignoring it and said that how we gonna give government another chance. Come on, nowhere. You need to wake up, Guyana. Wake up. Listen to me. Look, I've listened to the social media footages, and as recently on Paul Slow speaking out last program, he usually play back those clips to show where Vice President Jack Dio said how these people are so foolish, these people are so stupid, to those type of words. And you want to tell me, a lot of you see it and heard it, and still you're not waking up and understand that you're going to come September 1st, prove to him that you're not stupid or foolish. I saw 2 days ago on social media a young Indian boy. I average his age, maybe 21, thereabout. He had on a white vest alone, and he placed his face full into the camera. And you know what he said? He said, Jack Dio, let me tell you something. You fool our parents and get them the way you want them. But not we, not this generation. You can't fool me. You can't fool me, because we understand your lies and what you're coming with. And the time done. And if those people can realize that they are being fooled and want to put an end to that time, what happened to our people? What happened to our people? What happened to us? Our young people, you've been misled. But let me show you, every time you have been to the juncture where you feel that you're under pressure and you feel that there's no way out, God making a way out. For those who are being promoted, for those who are given the contracts, and tell them that when you go to vote, you gotta show them how you vote. Look what happened now. GCOM has made a publication that no cell phone can be used in the polling place. That is a winner for you, because a lot of you would have gone and do it with a heavy conscience. And yet still, when it's all over, you see the results, you're going to go on your knees and cry and beg. But God has made it happen that you need to maximize that opportunity, because when you go to vote, that is your private and personal rights. Nobody needs to know who you vote for. I was talking to a friend, and he was telling me, he said, don't worry with them who you see get them small contracts. A lot of them ain't get full pay yet, because why? They got to attend all the rallies, and then when the rallies finish, and then they go back in power, then they're going to pay them the other half. But you got to be real damn fool. Real damn fool. Work done, I got to get me money. And if you're going to treat me like that, this is the opportunity you get now to go and vote in private, and you have to keep the money, because AP and you and RB not going to give you a better life. So you got to look for the money no more. Take it. I don't have to look for that money anymore. Y'all keep it, because I have a better life. Please, listen to me. A lot of the young people from all races are educated now. And money answers something, because money can't answer happiness. Money can't answer happiness. Money can't answer health, especially when your mind bad and you're wicked. Okay? So you people need to take this situation serious. Talk to the young people and let them know that if they go and gamble with their vote, they're going to take what gamblers get, because a lot of gamblers lose. Ask them who goes to super bet and sit down every day. How long they got to wait for lash a pot? And another 5 years will come and you're going to lash no pot, because they're going to keep fooling you all the time. And every time you go into the games like that, the rules change. And when the rules change, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. All of them who take pay, listen to me. If the time comes and anything's go different, when the situation presents itself, you can't go before those people and ask them nothing. Because they're going to say, you don't get paid for what you give, so come out from here. They're going to treat you like Judas. When Judas delivered Christ for the 30 pieces of silver, and when he realized what is the situation and the circumstances of the outcome, when he carried back, what I tell you? You belong with the work done, the job done, so you bring them, it makes sense. It makes sense. And he go and hang himself. Listen to me. The Bible got true stories, and the true stories what we see happening today. So there are many Judases. Look out for them on election day, because they're going to come between you. They're going to come to start problems. It's our own people you got to look out for, because they're being paid for that. They're going to come because they know we're going to vote in our numbers, and they're going to send people like us to disturb the situation. But y'all stand ready for them and deal with those Judases the way you're supposed to. Members of the Guyana Police Force, I'm speaking to you. You know the right thing. You're trained to do the right thing. Be the person to stand by the law and do the right thing. Because when the time comes, you will be answerable. And when the time comes, if you don't do the right thing, there's nobody to blame but yourself. You must know the difference between a favor and lawful instructions. You've been promoted. The fooling you telling you, if APNU comes into power, they're going to take back the promotion. Take it back for what? It's who they get promoted. It's we people get promoted. So we're going to train you and make you ready to deliver for the rank that you're carrying. So no promotion is going to take back. Don't allow yourself to be fooled because they want you to compromise to ensure that you turn a blind eye or disrupt the process. Tell the private security to stay out of this arrangement. Keep them out. Don't bring them among you because they may create a problem that you cannot handle. Be strong. Be strong. When you be placed in police station, don't be selective in executing your duties. When AP and you make a complaint or raise something, you got no time. And when AFC says something, you got no time. But when PPP says something, you got a time. Don't do that. Be neutral. Be neutral. Because we are in receipt of all information and the plan. But PPP, don't worry. Your plan is going to fall. Because it's the older Guyana going to be standing strong against you. Plaisance, make it right. Don't allow yourself to be divided because of a little contract. Some of them feel that they arrive and they got up big. But don't let that get to you. Because those same people who feel that they arrive and they're big, just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Some of you might end up welcome them home. Or even stepping through the back door and even give them the same green jersey you put on and sneak them in because they're going to want to come back home. Just like how some of the PPP people who the APNU AFC coalition rescued them and they boldly tell you now they're going back home. We're going to welcome you back home. But when you come back home, we're going to make sure that we suss you out properly. We're going to suss you out properly because you don't come in for be no snitch. Or you're coming for be no chip or no decoy among us because you're not going to stop this movement. We're going to make a new Guyana. We're going to make our youths well counted and recognized. You check to see how many persons have graduated from the University of Guyana from 2020 to now and see where they're working. They're out of jobs. They're telling you what gold is the best, gold scholarship is the best, and nowhere recognized other ways than in Guyana. And get you up late in the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, say that you get in online. And the persons who are lecturing to you is people who cannot even speak. When you get those qualifications, you can't apply it. Because why? They're not properly taught and they're not properly applicable to our situation here. So don't boast and brag about gold. I heard the other day, the vice president on his program, but trying to compare gold with our leader degree that he received in London. That is how we stay. Once you see that people like us, who stand clear, who stand strong, who clean with integrity and respect and character, he wants to bring you down or to say something foolish. But he better look at himself. Look at himself. The people say, you're talking about me? Look at the man in the mirror. So please, don't allow yourself to be carried away with foolishness. Guyanese, you have all information on social media. Time doesn't permit us to tell you everything. But you on social media every day. This last few days, get yourself equipped with the requisite knowledge to guide you and keep you and to let you stay on track. Do not deviate. This is what we're doing. We're putting you on track. Stay on track. Don't allow yourself to be sided or come off because come September 1st, we have to palm them out. Palm them out. Palm them out. They've already sensed the tsunami coming. They've already sensed the tsunami of the green coming. So we got to keep in that same force, in that same standing, because there is no turning back. Guyana, for the past 5 years, I know you were laboring under some terrible conditions. Some of you doesn't even know what is enjoyment because you're working from job to job. Some of you cannot even spend no quality time with your children to even see their homework, what they're doing. You understand me? So you need to understand that is not the Guyana we know, and that is not the Guyana we want. Because look at our population size, and look at the amount of money, revenue that is coming into this country. And you want to say that we are not capable of living a life of good, of greatness, and foreigners are coming here and they want to be a part of this arrangement? Guyana, it's about you. You're out there, and those of you who are in, it is about you. Get ready, get serious, be a part of this movement. You've been making a call for the past 5 years. God has sent a man who can help you, who can take you through. A man whose character is unblemished. A man who knows the history of this country and fully prepared. And then look to see his team. Look to see the person who is prime ministerial candidate, is vice presidential candidate, and all the other members. And still, you want to question this and allow the PPPC calling you on phone and begging you and asking you to receive cash grant and all these things? No, 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 nowhere. So Plaisance, Guyana, this is my call to you. This is my cry to you. No turning back. We are marching to victory. Coming September 1st, be voting APNU. And on September 2nd, we're going to be enjoying a new government which is going to take care of all Guyanese. So God bless you, Plaisance. All the best. Good night.
Impossible to do. Remember what we do. Like a drug. Stop trying to hold me. Stop trying calling me. Do so please. But see, I give real reason. When it comes to the peace season, they don't think it's just people understand my eyes. What you really going to the country? I don't want to be the country. Let us
Okay, if a former deputy commissioner of police can come and put you on the right track, there's every reason for you to respond positively, do what has been told, and have every optimism that we're moving towards governance on the 1st of September. Do you agree with that? Well, make some noise about it. It is something to be happy about. And I think it would be amiss if I, or amiss of me, if I did not give full credit to Paul Williams, Dr. Williams. Paul was an extremely, really good athlete in his days, represented BV, represented the East Coast, represented the police. And so he's a man who wore a number of hats. And tonight, wearing the hat of a politician gives credence to the fact that we know who we can trust in. Okay? All right, so we move on. Have you noticed that the APNU has begun to nurture a whole lot of young, intelligent politicians? Have you noticed that? You don't sound like you have. Over the last period of, I think, at least 4 years, let's say 4 years. Not that there have not been young ones before, but I think that there's a special concentration now on nurturing young politicians And I can see that the party and the people of Guyana are in very good hands. When the APNU was formed, it was formed by a set of elderly people, and I remember even some journalists were saying a whole lot of paraplegics and all of that forming the APNU, they can't go anyway. And that really wasn't so. APNU got into power, amalgamating with the coalition, with the AFC, and now that APNU is going it all alone, they have remaining with them youngsters that when we listen to them, when we understand that they understand their purpose in the party, we know that we're moving ahead. And this is the time that we will be introducing to you one of those youngsters. I only a few days ago got to know him, or got to know of him. I saw him hosting a program on Ben Shop's platform. It was an APN News program indeed, and I think Mark could not be on the show at that time, so this youngster sat in for Mark Ben Shop. So when you're going to be sitting in for such an experienced person, such an experienced broadcaster, it means that you have to either know your audience or believe that you can fit into that capacity. And so I listened to the guy and I said, where was this guy all the time? And then I learned further that the young man, as young as he is, I hope I'm correct, I'm told 24 years old, the young man is already an attorney at law. You understand that? Okay. Well, you're going to hear how bad he bad. Because he's coming to the microphone now to speak with you at this very important APNU meeting. Let's welcome young Eden Corbin. Come on, put your hands together.
Yeah. Plaisance! I see a lot of people sitting, but Plaisance, make some noise! If you got the flag, if you got the rock, if you got your hands, wave them, wave them, wave them! What happened to y'all in the pocket? I said, if you got your hands, wave them! All right. Now is not the time to be tired, Plaisance. Now is not the time to give up. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, hold. Hold. We on the home stretch. And I'm not an athlete like Dr. Paul Williams, but tell them I know some things. Turn to your neighbor and say he knows some things. And I know when you're on the home stretch, that is when you just throw out your belly. And we on the home stretch, so we can't get tied up. The message is simple. Let me put on my time when they tell me I got time to work with. The message is simple. Elections is serious business. Turn to somebody and tell them, elections is serious what? It is serious what? So we can't play. We come to play? No, we come to play. We're not splitting the vote, Plaisance. The only thing that split is the PPP and the other party that come from them. We don't want no more split. We got to hold firm. This elections has shown us a lot of things. You've heard from the speakers before me. There's a history and a deep undertone to these elections. A lot of people have been saying that this is the mother of all elections. And while I believe that, I want to go even further. Every elections is the mother of all elections. Because elections is what? Serious what? And this serious business is a little different this time. Because we got a lot hanging in the balance. We have a government that mashing up this country. They call us Guyana, the fastest growing
economy. You're right to laugh. Because when some people hold a lemonade stand, they just carry home $9 million. When we get with fish and chips, we lucky if we break even, much less touch a $20,000. Times hard. Yes, auntie. Yes. Times hard. And you just know times hard when granny name get a call, a corruption. That's how you know when times hard. As Lola does say, it pinching, cause things tight. Look at your neighbor and say things tight. This is the cost of living we gotta live with in the fastest growing economy in the world. In the only country in the world that could produce all the food we need to survive. Yet when you check the importation bill, we importing more food than we making. That makes sense? You're right to clap. It don't make sense at all. These people have been fooling us. 2020, 2021, and by the time they finish, you would forget that there was a government running this country before 2015. We can't let them get in we heads. You heard Dr. Paul Williams say. We got to hold. And through this election season, we had a lot of losses. But not everything that you lose is a bad thing. Plaisance? Not everything that you lose is a bad thing. I never went to war, and I never heard of a war story yet, where you went to war and you didn't lose some soldiers. And when you lose some good soldiers, you just feel it. But when the bad soldiers pick up themselves and gone, you just be happy. Because look at Plaisance today. They're talking about crowd and APNU and crowd. Tell them that when David went and slayed Goliath, it was just a rock and a slingshot. That when Jesus went to feed the people, it was 5 loaves of bread and 3 fishes. So tell them, shut up on the crowd. Because it's not in the quantity, it's in the what? The quality. And I don't know. You see, they're done ready to stop me. And I don't know about another man that's better in quality than Aubrey, Compton, Norton. Make some noise for that. Hold on. And you want to know how I know the quality good? Because you see, come September 1st, once you're making less than 400,000, you know what? You get a land! You get a land! You get a land! Public servants, 200,000 minimum wage. UGM tertiary students, 50,000. Because you see, our manifesto is well thought out. Because it's not about the money that we put in your pockets. It is about making the economy better. So that ministers of government not going to come and tell you that under a stupid party, you see 5 million and $1 million for the first time. Somebody says, shame. And if you believe, like I believe, I want you to stand to your feet right now and raise your palm. I want you to get up because we got to show them. You don't go to war sitting down. Raise your palm. Wave your flag. Because come September 1st, we put in, we X-way by the what? Because the song says he got the whole world in his palms. And if it's good for Jesus, it's good for we. And before they cut off my mic, I just want to say one thing. I just want to say one thing. That when we go to the polling station, we go in and share some licks. Correct to say that we lashing them on the head. I say we giving them 2 jumbie lash. 230 neighbors said John Milosh. Because if we voted for the palm, and I put my X by the palm for general, and then I put my X by the palm for regional, it's not John Milosh. And we ensuring we not splitting the vote to the young people. You can't make a livelihood off of $30,000. You can't make a livelihood off of handouts. Because while we see touching my foot, tell them you can't keep a good man down. But I'm coming off now because I have to make way for the next president and the next prime minister of the great land. So I want you to get up to your feet again, wave your flag, wave your rod, and make some noise for the next president. Let me see your hands. Let me
And that's just the smoke. Just for you to understand that we've got many more of those young people in whose hands we shall place the responsibility of all the citizens of Guyana. And you will see exactly how good they can be and how good they are on the 2nd of September after securing the governance on the 1st. Okay? Now we've had just two ladies. No, not have had. We had one lady before. And so tonight's program consists of only two ladies. So we do know who is the next lady scheduled to come on the program, who in fact will be the penultimate speaker on this evening's program. Do you know who she is? Do you know who she is? She in fact will become the first indigenous people's representative ever to be the Prime Minister of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And that can only happen once you people continue to be conscious and pass the consciousness on to other persons who require that attention. Ladies and gentlemen, she has not been with the APNU for all the time, but the time that she's occupied that position in the APNU, you'd want to believe that the love has grown and her contributions has grown even more. And it is time to welcome the lady who will sit alongside our presidential candidate when the right time comes. And she starts tonight and all the nights before with a massive speech at this time. Put your hands together and welcome the Prime Ministerial candidate of the APNU and the future Prime Minister of Guyana, Ms. Jaretta Bonham.
All right, good night, Plaisance. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. And I'm going to say like my colleague, Young Corbin, that I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to try to set a mental timer because I want to have a very simple message tonight. I believe that my colleagues that spoke before me, they spoke about the policies, they spoke about what we've been through as a people under the PPP administration. And I want you to remember some simple things tonight. But before I go into the three things that I want you to remember tonight, I want to say I heard one of our speakers, Dr. Henry Jeffrey, spoke before. And he spoke about some things that needs to be emphasized. And I want to add to what he said. Dr. Jeffrey spoke about the fact that we have persons in the PPP administration right now going out there, and you will see headlines on your social media. And the headlines say that we've broken the back of racial voting in Guyana. I don't want to speak to you about that tonight. Because when the PPP come to you, they will say, we've broken the back of racial voting in Guyana. But when they go to their stronghold, they will say, hold the line. We have got to remember that. They will come to you and they will say those things because they want to have your vote. But when they go to their stronghold, they will not say, let us vote on the policies that is being presented. They will say, vote where your mother used to vote and where your father used to vote. Let us be wise when we are going to the polls on the 1st of September. But I want to address something with the PPP. When the PPP comes and they say that they have broken the back of racial voting in this country, I want you to tell them something. I have a message for each and every one of you to tell the PPP. When they come to you and say that, you have to stand up and you have to say, what you should have done was to break the back of economic racism in this country, because that is where it matters and that is where you are hurt the most. When the PPP come to you and talk about how you vote and racial voting, you stand up to them and you say that we live in a country in which one ethnic group has been deprived. You have to point these things out. You have to tell them. Let me tell you something, because this is some serious business. A lot of persons don't look at this. When we talk about economic racism, so we don't want to hear about breaking the back of ethnic voting. We wanted them to break the back and break the chains and break the structure of the racial discrimination when it comes to economic development in this country. That is what is important. For too long, we allow persons to come into our communities and speak to us as though we don't understand the suppression that they have created in our communities. And I can speak to you because I am an indigenous woman. I have traveled the length and breadth of this country, going to the various indigenous communities, and I could tell you, indigenous communities have been left behind in this country. I go to those communities and I see the PPP flag flying on shacks. And I had those same meetings that we're having every place else. And I have to tell them that when we go to certain communities and we see that red, black, and yellow flag, we must understand what it represents for us. And I want to tell you here tonight, Plaisance, that when you see that flag, you should know what it represents for you, what it has represented for your parents, your grandparents. It has represented suppression. It has represented economic discrimination. It has represented a system that was put in place to make sure that you do not enjoy the resources of this country while other people dine lavishly at expensive hotels. That is what you must do. A lot of persons need to understand this message. I said I'm going to be short, but sometimes these things get me real fired up. I want to leave a message with you tonight. I want to talk about three things. First of all, I want to tell you that when we talk about corruption in the PPP, you must understand what corruption means. The more corrupt a country is, the more poverty grows in that country. The more corrupt a country is, the more the economic gap is widened. The more the income gap is widened. The more corruption is in the country, the more the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That is a fact. We allow persons to come in our communities, speak to our young people. People, I want you to wake up, young people, and speaking to you tonight. We have so many first-time voters. And you need to understand the system that you were born and raised under. You were born and raised under a system that has created a policy of corruption that you believe is the way of life. That is not so. Young people today going out there, and I heard other speakers talk about the contracts, these little contracts. And I can tell you about the contracts. Because young people today, you go out there and you got to go and pass a fine bribe to somebody to get into a meeting with somebody else for them to give you a little drain contract somewhere. And at the end of it, you still got to bribe somebody else and get some all equipment because you are not empowered to even have the equipment to do the work. That is a system of suppression that you were raised under. And I want you to wise up and recognize this. We are talking about creating real empowerment to young people. We're talking about bringing a development bank that is going to be affording you the opportunity to go and get loans so that you can build in capacity and make sure that you are empowered as a people, because the APN, you want persons to be empowered, and we want you to go there and stand with dignity, because that is what your foreparents fought and died for in this country. Corruption is no ordinary thing. When we talk about corruption, we're talking about young lives being lost. When we talk about corruption, we're talking about the injustices that you all know so well about. This is a country in which you can't get nowhere if you don't know somebody and pass a little change somewhere. Everywhere you go, it is managed in a corrupt manner. We took office in 2015, and from 2015 to 2020, everybody in Guyana know that we were weeding out the corruption, but they did not like that. You know what we did when we went into office? We raised the minimum. We raised the minimum wage by 77%. That is what we did when we were in office. I heard my colleague Coretta speaking tonight, and she spoke to teachers passionately because she was one of them out there in the sun and rain protesting for better wages and salaries. And you know what you got? You got the 8% because the leadership was bought out. That is what you got. And we are saying to you, public servants, that you will be getting 35% under the leadership of Aubrey Norton as the president of Guyana. You know, when you talk about corruption, I want to give you a figure because you understand the numbers hit differently. This year, the budget is $1.382 trillion. That is a budget for 2025. The 1 year budget is $1.382 trillion. And they still came back to Parliament before Parliament was dissolved to collect $57 billion more. They are spending over $1 trillion and they come to your communities and they look at your children. They look at the young people in our community and they say the only thing we could give you is a drain cleaning contract. That is disrespectful. Let me tell you about the corruption in the system. We had a report that came out from the World Bank, not from the APNU, from the World Bank. And the report said that the PPP, for every budget they have for capital works, capital works is the roads and the bridges and so forth. This year, the capital work budget is over $700 billion. Over 700 billion. You see over $700 billion being spent in your communities? Over $700 billion is a capital budget. But you know what the World Bank report said? It said that the capital budget, over 40% of that budget is wasted in inefficiencies. It means to say that over 40% of the money that they budget for capital work is what is thieving out. If you were to put that in numbers, it's going to give you about $300 billion that the PPP cannot account for when it comes to public works. Do you understand what is going on in this country? They are stealing hundreds of billions of dollars and then they come to your communities and they say, take a fine change contract. And you know what else they do when they're done with that? Then they come and they put a camera in your face and put a mic in your hand and say, you got to endorse us because we give you a little fine change. I say to you that you must stand up with the dignity that you deserve and say no to that. The PPP is corrupt. The PPP is corrupt to the point that they're smuggling chicken into Guyana in the ambulances. That is the level of corruption of the PPP. We gotta wake up. That's just the first thing I want to tell you. The PPP is corrupt. So that's the first thing I want to remind you of tonight. The second thing I want to tell you is that when you go out there and you vote for the APNU, that's the PALM. And I want to tell you this tonight. When you speak to people, I want you to re-emphasize we are in the last days before election. And everybody you talk to, you got to tell them how to vote. And when we talk about voting for the APNU, you have to say you're voting for them at the top, you're voting for them at the bottom. You're making sure you vote for the palm at the top. You look for the palm at the bottom. You're putting your X two places. You're making sure that it is done neatly because we have to get the PPP out of office on the 1st of September. We've got to go in and we've got to galvanize our communities. We are talking about making sure that our people are taken care of. And when we say our people, we mean all of Guyana. And they know this. When we were in office from 2015 to 2020, no community was left unattended to. And we did not have all money to cater for anybody. That is a fact. We looked after every single region with the little money that we had. Now that we have all resources, we're going to be getting back to you, the people. And that is the second thing I want to say to you tonight. I want to tell you that when you vote for the APNU and when you put your X next to the palm, you are voting for empowerment of yourselves. When you put your X next to the palm, you are voting for a life of respect for your children. When you put your X next to the palm, you are voting to make sure that public servants do not have to hide from who they support. When you put your X next to the palm, you are voting for the only party that is people-centered in this country. And most importantly, Plaisance, when you put your X next to the palm on the 1st of September, you will be voting to elect a man with no baggage. You will be voting to elect Aubrey Compton Norton, a man with dignity, a man that will stand up for you, a man that is not looking to fill his own pocket, a man that will make sure that your children are safe, a man that makes sure that your communities are developed, a man that will make sure that for the first time since we have oil, that the money will be put into your pockets, Plaisance. That is what you're voting for on the 4th of September. So that is the second thing I wanted to tell you. The third thing and the final thing I want to say to you tonight is that when you go out there and you head to the polls on the 1st of September, do not leave anyone behind. When you pass in your neighbor and you see they got up a blue flag, you rap on the door. And you say, we're not going that way. We are not leaving anyone behind. We need every single vote to take us over the line on the 4th of September. And I want to say this because it was brought to my attention a few moments before I came on this stage, that there are some other political parties going out there and they are saying to people that we are all the same. And I want to give you a message to give anybody that comes to you and say, we are all the same. Tell them that Director Finance said that we are not the same, because if we were the same, we would have been together under the umbrella of the APNU coalition. We are the only party that can take the PPP out of office, and we are going to vote resoundingly in that regard. We are not the same. Any other political party that come to you and say that, you tell them that I said that any vote that goes to them is a vote to keep the PPP in office, for them to continue to discriminate against our communities, and we will not have it. We are not the same like anyone else. Plaisance, are you hearing me tonight? There is no political party that can step into the shoes of the representative of the APNU. There is no other presidential candidate that can step to Aubrey Compton Norton. When you listen to people like Paul Williams, when you listen to the candidates and the quality of the leadership that we have waiting for you, you cannot be considering anyone else. When you head to the polls, you tell everyone, you tell your neighbor, tell your friend, we are not splitting our vote. We are going to be going to the polls on the 1st of September as a unified people. We are going to be going to the polls as one voice. We are going to be going to the polls as one vote, because we are all going to the polls to see the backs of the PPP. And the only way we can see the back of the PPP in Guyana is if we come together collectively as a people, and we all step into those polling stations, and we put our X at the top for the palm, and we put our X at the bottom for the palm, because we have an election to win, and the only way we can win is if we go as a unified people, and that is how we're going to be doing it in 2025. Did I go over 10 minutes yet? I'm not sure if I went over 10 minutes yet, but we have a presidential candidate, and I want to say this because a lot of times persons need to understand who the man is, Aubrey Norton. And I think I've had the privilege of knowing him. And he is a man of character. Somebody that will go out there and represent you no matter what. somebody that's not looking to fill his own pocket. But most importantly, and I want you to hear me out tonight, Plaisance. The most important thing you need to know about Aubrey Norton is that Aubrey Norton cannot be bought. Aubrey Norton cannot be bought. Every single day, they're trying to, look, somebody, I can't remember whatever name, went over some. And I say to them that the leadership that is required in the APNU is leadership that will stand strong, leadership that will stand firm, leadership that will not back an eyelid at anyone that wants to buy them out. And I find that quality in the man, Aubrey Compton Norton. No one can offer him anything that will make him sell out his people, because he needs that your empowerment is his empowerment. And that is how we're going to the polls. We are heading to the polls with a man that will be empowering us. We are heading to the polls on the 1st of September, and we will be voting soundly for the APNU. I'm going to make way for our presidential candidate to speak to you this evening. And as I make way for him, I want to say, Mr. Norton, I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for the opportunity to be here to represent people. I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this movement, because I know come the 1st of September, this movement, the APNU movement, will go down in history as a movement that has unified our people, a movement that has made it its duty to bring out everyone in every community, every region, every ethnicity, every religion. We are going together as a unified people, and we are going to elect Aubrey Norton, and we are going to be empowered as a people. I thank you tonight.
So I'm sure you know now why we have been giving a whole lot of credit, as they say, putting handle to this young lady. You just listened to the prime ministerial candidate, and I'm sure that if you did not hear her before, you have every confidence now that we are on the right track. We are on the right track. And the prime ministerial candidate made a very serious point, just now, when she said that the APNU is the only party that indicates that it is really and truly willing to bring all the peoples together in Guyana. There has never been another party in the history of elections that I know that had a prime ministerial candidate that is a representation of the indigenous peoples of Guyana. And so that's a big move by the APNU, and you got to make some noise for that. Got to make some noise for that. So, that one Guyana you're hearing now, is now you can see from the 2nd of September after the 1st, what really one Guyana is. And in introducing to you the final speaker, I think that the prime ministerial candidate made a very good description of a man whom has been part of this proceedings for over 50-something years, I understand. But I have known for a really long time that the man has been there, has had his difficulties, as we say, his ups and downs, and anybody who has been part of an organization that at one time treats you, even if it is in your own opinion, not too well or not too good, and at the other time they treat you okay, but it's because they're going back to treating you to status quo, then that man still continues because what he has pointed his intentions to is making a great change when his time comes. So he waited, bided his time, and made sure that all that he was able to collect in terms of experience is now going to be unleashed on the opposition. And the opposition will learn that this man has saved all the good tidings for the 1st of September. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put together our hands and our loud noises with our mouth and our horns and our whistle to bring on stage the president in waiting of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana that only represent the APNU. Forward, Compton Norton.
Good evening, Plaisance. Good evening, Plaisance. When you are at home, you expect a lot of noise. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I think no one will doubt that we chose the best person to be our prime ministerial candidate. There are some who are running around and actually left us at the claim because they weren't chosen to be prime ministerial candidate. But I will say to you, we chose the best, and we're sorry for the rest. I want to begin this evening by dealing with the bald-head rat, Barrett. Today he made this point that he has the discipline services waiting for after the elections to deal with us. This man is a complete idiot. If you lose these elections, you must go. You must not tell us about bringing the police. You might have a commissioner who is a puppet, but the Guyanese people aren't. And we're saying to you, Barrett Jackdew, we're going to beat you. We're going to beat you in a fair fashion. And anything you try, you will face the full consequence. You don't have transport for Guyana. You couldn't even keep a marriage certificate. And you going on like if you own everybody in Guyana. We are not afraid of you. We are not the people in the PPP when you talk, run and hide. You are a little coward that come from Jamaica hiding behind state power. And if you want us to clash, let us clash. We are interested in peace. We have campaigned peacefully. When I became leader, there were many who wanted us to take the streets. And I said to them, no. Let us build our support in all ethnic groups and be involved in parliamentary politics. But if Jackdew believes that because we didn't take them on, we lack the capacity to, then he's fooling himself. And we know that he trembles soon as there is pressure, though he's out like if he's a bad ballet boy. I want to say this to all our supporters. Once we beat the People's Progressive Party, they must go or they will face the consequences. These elections are critical. By these elections, we are ensuring that we aren't enslaved by those who believe they have the right to own this country and exclude people who don't support them from economic existence. And so it should be obvious to the PPP that we would like to be peaceful, but we will not accept subjugation. And I thought I should start on that note because they felt by the commander in charge killed when 3 Linden people were killed, they seem to believe he can be allowed to perpetuate it. They seem to believe because they cover up the murder of Adriana Young, they can do as they like. But let us tell them, those days are over. We are challenging the PPP based on our policies. We have no doubt that we have better policies than them. Their only skill is the ability to thief. Their only skill is the ability to be corrupt. And we said to you, we will end their corruption. Because every time they are involved in corruption, they are depriving our children of a proper life. And I can say this to you, they are brainless. They always copy everything we do. We said we will give cash transfer. Barrett in his normal Thursday rantings said, oh, we cannot give it, they need money to do it. And then the idiot turns around and do the same thing and believe people can like you. You're a damn fool. It is not normal that I use this language. But when people are threatening you, you have to deal with them. And I believe that Barrett lacks the intellectual capacity to challenge us. I invited them to debate. I was prepared to debate he and Irfan together. But they wouldn't come because one certificate comes from a university that doesn't exist. And the other one certificate doesn't manifest in his work. And so, let us be clear. We have no respect for them intellectually. We've been to credible universities. You could find the university I've been to. You could find the university Jaretta been to. You could find the university Dr. Todd been to. You could find the university of all of us, but you can't find the university of IFLA. And if you want to know that he's not a proper graduate from anywhere, ask him to say reparation. Can't say it. And so we want to set the record straight. The People's Progressive Party is a weak political party that we will beat. And we will beat them not only because of the work we're doing on the ground. We're going to beat them because we have better policies and better programs than them. I want to say to the 10-day workers, we had the economic people look at the figures. And we are reliably informed that without problems, we could extend their workers from $40,000 a month to $100,000 a month. But we are also saying to them, you will have to get training so that you improve your life and live a better life. We say to you that we are putting people first. This government puts their friends, their families, and their favorites first. We are saying to you, our policies will put the people first. This government, in a deliberate attempt to ensure that poor people, children, don't become lawyers, remove funding for law students. They smile when they can do those things to the poor. But I'm saying to you, like I said last night, as a government, any child that is qualified and gets into Trinidad, UWI, we are going to pay for the law program as we are going to pay for other programs. Too many of our bright children are deprived of becoming lawyers while PPP nincompoops are becoming lawyers. For us, it is discriminatory and it must end. We want to see the people of this country develop, and that is why we say any person 18 years and over that does not own a house will get a free house lot, because we want to see this population housed. And these are not pie in the sky things. These are things that could happen and will happen. We have said we will do rent to own because we want the average man to own a house. The PPP is well prepared to cut out a pasture, put a lot, and call it a house lot. And these jagabats, while they can't find resources to put infrastructure on house lots, they find resources to put infrastructure in Pradoville 1. Before they move in, they had water, they had roads. They're not satisfied. He built a big house in Pradoville 1. Sell it, while the law had said that you have to own it for 10 years before you sell it. He sold it because he is a bad boy. And then they built Pradoville 2. And they put all the infrastructure again. And there are thousands of people in this country that they give a okra patch to that think a water road no light. We are saying to you, as a government, we will put the infrastructure. So when you move into an area with infrastructure. He likes to say we did nothing in government. Between 2015 and 2020, they left the people of farm without water, without light, without roads. It is we, between 2015 and 2020, that gave it to them. The man is so malicious. The man is so indescribable. He cannot be described with normal language. He has the temerity, the audacity to say we did nothing when we were in the government, and he stand up on the road and let them that we did. I want you to understand, it is very important that we make it clear who are the PPP. They are liars, and they lie with a bare face. They are thieves. They are oppressors. They are murderers. They murder many of our children. And there are some who help them murder with children now coming like priests saying, oh, we can be a new beginning. A new beginning of what? A leopard does not change its spots. And so I want to make it very clear this evening. We have nothing to be ashamed of. We, between 2015 and 2020, all 5 years budget, the budget we got in 5 years is what they get in 1 year. The 2025 budget is bigger than the 5 years. But between 2015 and 2020, you felt the impact of our budget. Are you feeling this $1.4 trillion? This government is so ridiculous. They did not even produce policies to bring down the cost of living. The cost in Guyana is killing while they're living and living high. We are saying to you that the cost of living can be stabilized. We are saying to you that we are going to develop agriculture in every region. We will make every village sustainable in agriculture. And once there is the level of agricultural production, then the price of agricultural products will come down. But we are also saying that we are aware that when you produce a certain amount, you have to have refrigerated storage. We have to have agro processing. So a lot of the products we produce can be processed. Once we can do that focus on agriculture, we will succeed. They like to talk about who did what and who will do what. Their record is dismal. He promised this whole country, oh, we have a fiber optic cable and you will get internet connectivity. Until now, the only place it probably connects is the rear of him, because there is none. It was a waste of billions of dollars. The PPP is a failed government. We must not fool ourselves. If after 28 years they can't build a road, let them show you one road that lasted as long as the Suze-Linden Highway built years ago, of West Demerara built years ago. Every road they build is a dead drop. They should shut up because they have no successes. Every time the PPP put billions in a project, it goes down the drain. They told us that they are building a Skeldon sugar factory, and from it we will get electricity. Till now we can't see the light. The man is a complete fraud. They have shown that they are incompetent. And I say this to you, they deliberately put people in poverty because they have this false view that when people are poor, they could come and throw money at them and they will control them. I repeat what I say all the time. Take the money. It's your money. And if you don't take it, they can thief it. So take it. But vote APNU. I'm saying to you that the best team, the best list of candidates in this election is the APNU list of candidates. There's no doubt about it. Compare it with the PPP list. The PPP list got thief man, rape man, man who sell land illegally. Is what I call it, bond. You know, look at their list. You think somebody like Kwame could be on our list? You have to be blind. You know, They have no one of quality, no one of substance. Even the one we're talking about, the vice president, if you engage him in an intellectual debate, like how we were talking about cost of living, like how we were talking about the economy, he takes his Thursday to lift up his frack and views. If you are a serious politician and people raise political issues, you respond to them. You show you have cerebral matter. But he cannot do that. He cannot do that. Every time he's confronted with something that is factual, he stammers, sue. I'm saying to you, they like to ask the question, how are we going to finance these problems we're talking about? We will finance it by reducing corruption. You all are involved in wasting and corruption to about 48% of this economy. And if we reduce corruption, if we reduce wastage, we could pay for everything. So let us not be carried away. I want to talk to the young people. Let them show you one proper program they have for youth. Let me tell you what they did to this, do to this country. Guyana, about 16,000 children, let's do grade 6 or common entrance. By the time you arrive at CXC, only about 5,000 will get 5 subjects with math and English. What that means is the education system is failing them. And then there is no mechanism for them to go back to school and improve their lives. We are saying to you, we will establish a network of night schools across this country so children can go back to school and make their lives better. We have children who got 8 CXC, but they don't have math or English. Our night schools will permit them to go back, and they can't say it can't be done because we did it. We created about 10 night schools in this country, and when the PPP came to power, they closed them down. Anything to help poor people, they just destroy. All they're interested in is big projects so they could rob Guyana. They built 12 hospitals. Like a hospital is just a building. A hospital must get doctor. It must get nurse. It must get drugs. It must get equipment. The hospitals with a bill, we could play football in them because they got nothing. So don't tell us you build hospitals. You did projects that allow you to get rich. All of them came into government broken, without money, and they're leaving September 1st. All of them as billionaires. They have a little imp named Charles Ramsey. Walk this country and you will see. All he do is destroy the grounds. He has nothing to show as a sports minister. Linden has been left without virtually any ground, except Christianburg ground, which we did when we were in government. And they come talking about their love for youth. They like youths who come in conflict with the law because they can use them. Look at the people that go to them and join them, who in a deportee and a robbery with arms charge, or beat up their wife, or rape, or get sanctioned. Those are the people going to them. Those are the people going to the PPP. That is the quality of person they attract. And I want to say this to you. They're instilling fear. They're instilling fear.
They go in on Facebook, see what public servants post, and fine them and suspend them. I tell this to the public servants. Their time up. 1st of September, you don't have to frighten. It's a secret ballot. It's a secret ballot. And you can cast that ballot, and only you and the Almighty know where you cast it. So don't be afraid. This is the opportunity to get rid of a government that instills fear. This is the opportunity to liberate yourself from this dictatorship led by Barrett Jagdeo and his puppet, Irfan Ali. So this opportunity must be taken. When you vote on September 1st, you are voting for your freedom. When you vote on September 1st, if you are a public servant, you are voting to be able to do your work without political pressure. When you vote on September 1st, you are voting for the young people to get work and not them bringing people from Bangladesh and India to take your work. First, we have no problem with foreigners, but first and foremost in this country is Guyanese. And we want to say this to you. Under our government, Guyanese will be front and center and back. No one will be allowed to come here and take everything that we have. So we want to restore dignity. We want to restore law and order. Of a Guyana police force. The men who control the Guyana police force are more corrupt than the thief men did his arrest. You have a police force that has CCTV. You know, you just put cameras on the road for help with crime. Not these bastards. The crime occurs, and there is no when it's PPP people commit the crime. The camera don't work. In fact, the one on Main Street with the paper shots murder only start to work after Mohammed challenging them. We will utilize the technology in a fair way. The purpose of it is to solve crimes. And we can say to you, between 2015 and 2020, we solved many of the crimes that were committed under the People's Progressive Party. And you must understand that the PPP has a criminal history. The PPP has a wicked history. Guyana was a peaceful place. In 1992, they came to power in October. And by 1993, Monica Reese was thrown out the back of a vehicle and her murder covered up. Ever since then, this government has been murdering people and cover it up. Adriana Young obtained the attention because she's a child. Which government that has a modicum of decency will cover up the murder of an 11-year-old child? Only the PPP. The People's Progressive Party is a wicked political party. It's a demonic political party. And so, as we go to the polls, we have to remember, if we do not get rid of the PPP, our lives will be in misery for 5 years more. And I want you to know this. They know they are losing. Bad settlement where they have been their stronghold. The first meeting they held there, it had people. They go back and they bring people from quarantine, other parts of West Coast Babies for a bad settlement meeting. It says to you that their supporters no longer trust them.
Their supporters know that they have nothing to get, only the PPP elite enjoying itself. So you should be aware that even in PPP strongholds, they want change. The time is nigh for change. There must be change in this country. Come September 2nd, we must see the back of the People's Progressive Party. They have not served us good, and they will not serve us good. They are evil, wicked, stink and dirt. And so, I want to make it very clear. A Guyana under the APNU will serve all Guyanese. We have no interest in discriminating. We want to see all Guyanese progress. We want to see professionals being able to do their work in a professional way without being directed by the government. We want to see the neighborhood democratic councils get the money they're entitled to so the communities can develop. This government believes in domination and control. They will give us subvention and want to tell the NDC what to do with it. I have never met a core of people as greedy as this bunch. Greedy. No matter how much they get, they want more. And so the solution is to get rid of the People's Progressive Party. They will serve us no good. My friends,
What are you drinking right now?
he better tell me what he drinking. My friends, we want to see a society that is governed by law. We want to see a society where our children can move around and have no fear. We want to see a society in which young people can develop. We do not want the society we have today. So I want to urge you to go there and talk to every young person. You know, sometimes we forget. We must be sympathetic to some of these young people who came up under the PPP. The education system failed them. And so sometimes when you see it saying and doing things, don't condemn them. Go speak to them and put sensible things. I know some of them are hostile, but we need to save the youth of this country. This country is in deep trouble. We teach teachers, we train teachers to teach. We train policemen to enforce the law. But you know, the social problems in this society are so many that we now will have to put social workers and psychologists in classrooms and the police stations to help our young people. We have to help them. I'm saying to you, the best policies and programs on offer in these elections are from the APNU. I'm saying to you, we have the best team to govern this country. I urge you, therefore, to come out, bring them out, everyone, and vote for the APNU. Put your X next to it. Put your X next to it. Put your X next to it. My last message before I go. On election day, all those persons working with us, you should not allow anybody to vote if the voting booth isn't in a way that you could see the person and what they're doing. You don't want to see the ballot. That should be secret. But you want to see what they're doing. We have had a situation where a policeman or two voted, and you know he come up and barred them. He brain ain't functioning.
we're going to bring private criminal charges against him because it is out of place. And understand this, the PPP didn't agree to have no phones in the station because they believe in free and fair election. They believe that Mohammed got money like them, and so it will be a question of who got the more money. And they're frightened that Mohammed, they claim Mohammed telling people, vote and take out the picture and then get paid. But me worried about Mohammed, and I know they just do it. So now that they want to change is because they believe they're going to be a clash of bandits. It's a clash of banditry. They don't have an interest in us. But let us ensure we protect our votes. Let us come out, scrutinize the elections, and ensure we succeed. I close by saying to you, we want Guyana to grow. And if Guyana is to grow, the PPP must. If Guyana is to grow, the PPP must go. I thank you.